in. We are on day 4 of how to make heroes out of your clients and create raving fans forever. We are in the Better Brainstorming Challenge, day 4 of 5. I don't know about you, Ed, but I've been having some fun with this challenge. Yeah. I want to talk about all the ways that we both won't and will make heroes out of our clients, given the techniques that we've covered so far.
Day 4, and there's only one more.
And there's only one more, that's right. I'm going to put up the volume because I can't hear you very well, Ed. Maybe it's just me.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe just talk a little bit louder. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe put in the comments if you're listening. So first, day 1, we came up with horrible ideas, right? I don't know about you, but this was fun. Some of mine about how to not make our clients into heroes is be late on a project so that they look really bad in front of their colleagues and their staff. That's not going to be good for them. Number 2 is snub them at a networking event in front of their friends while their hand is out to shake hands with you. How would that look? Bad, really bad, right? Good morning, Robin. Number 3 is say you'll do a favor and then just don't do it. Those are bad ideas. Did you have any, Ed, or do you want me to keep going?
I'll just add one more. Taking them for granted, assuming that they're going to keep on doing business with you. That's a big mistake.
That is a big mistake. Absolutely. Absolutely. So day 2, we did figure storming, right? Stepping into somebody else's shoes. So let me go over my top 3, and then Ed, if you've got one to add, that'd be awesome. One of mine is Oprah, right? Oprah would say, if I asked her, Oprah, how should I make heroes, or how would you make heroes out of your clients? Oprah would say, everyone gets a car to give to their friends, right? That's what Oprah would say. It makes them look like heroes because they're giving away cars. If I asked an 8-year-old, he would say, bring puppies to their kids and say it was their idea. That's what an 8-year-old would say, right? If I were to ask Ed, how would you make your clients feel special? You know what I think Ed would say? Ed would say, to make people feel special, give them a custom labeled bottle of wine as a thank you.
I've done that many times.
True story, and it makes them feel like heroes. I'm not kidding you. Do you have one to add, Ed?
I just want to tell you about the bottle of wine one. I had a client, and every year I would give him a Christmas bottle of wine with a special label, picture of his family on it. And one day, this was in the summertime, he invited me over to his place and he said, come on down to my bar. He says, we'll have a beer. So we go down to his bar, and there on the top shelf is like 7 bottles of wine. The wine that I gave him every year. He didn't open them, and he'd show them off to his friends and stuff like that. So that
wow.
So that made him kind of like a hero. Like his friends would say, holy moly, where'd you get all that? And that's how I made him a hero. And then I said to him, I said, you know, Miles, if I'd known you were just going to leave them on the shelf, I'd have put colored water in there and drank the wine myself.
No kidding. Well, I have some bad news. I actually opened my bottle of wine, but I did feel like a hero. I have to say, I did feel like a hero. So, and then yesterday we got a little wild, didn't we? We got a little wild, and a couple of my mild to wilds, that's hard to say. My mild is, I kind of worked off the example you gave the other day. Give 2 game tickets to a client to share with his staff, right? That makes him feel like a hero or look like a hero. The wild would be give him a whole box for his staff, including all the fixings. Right?
Yeah.
And if you have, maybe there's a wilder side to that. Is there a wilder side to some of these that I'm going to say?
Well, I just want to give you one of my thoughts that I had after we did that session. Mine that I picked was Elon Musk. I mean,
Yeah.
he's done Tesla, he's doing rockets, he's building satellites to have a worldwide web system. And I was thinking, okay, what advice would Elon Musk give me? And, I,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been enjoying doing these creativity sessions. And I thought, well, if it was Elon Musk, he would think really big. So he'd say, okay, make it a worldwide network of creative coaches that go to each businesses and help them come up with ideas, train them, show them how they can train their brain to be creative.
Yeah.
But think on a bigger scale. Think about worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So another one I had was mild is over deliver on a project. Wild is over deliver, and this isn't that wild. We can do better. Over deliver and come up 30% under budget. Right? Another one is, often I will send them information, send my clients information after talking with them at a networking event or something. Maybe they're talking about their kid and, they're wondering about something, whatever. I'll actually research and send them some information about that. And then the wild side could be to actually introduce them to the author of that article or the author of that book. How cool would that be?
I like it.
I like it too. So, Robin says she gives lotto tickets, so maybe they'll win a car.
Hey, that's
And
good. I
another
like that.
user. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. Actually, something that I used to do back in the day when, I used to send lumpy mail.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anybody else has ever done that, but when I used to give my invoices, I would throw a chocolate bar in there that had I custom made the wrapper with a discount on the back. And so they'd get this thing in the mail and they'd look good because they got a treat to share at coffee time. And they got a discount to deal with me the next time. So that worked until summer came and then it melted. And yeah, anyway, I had to come up with something else, but it was a good idea at the time.
Well, once we get into today's session on the little questions, I'm going to give you some similar type ideas.
Yeah. So today's technique, let's go. It's called the small questions method. We're going to practice hacking your brain into submission. Yes, into submission. How to bring it on board, that brain on board to actively start offering solutions. And the best part is you don't even have to focus on it. You can go about your day. How cool is that? Because when we ask ourselves small questions in a certain deliberate way, I call them Kaizen small questions because for anybody who knows me, I teach Kaizen methodology, small steps for continual improvement. And that's one of the key pillars that I teach in my programs and in my masterminds. So when you can ask those small questions in a deliberate way, solutions come really quickly once you're able to break down the resistance. A lot of times we'll command something of ourselves, right? I need to come up with something good for this presentation, or I need to find a way to reduce expenses by 20%, or my clients are leaving. I need a way to keep them longer. Well, your brain doesn't like to be told what to do. The long and the short of it, it's like a little kid. Picture, maybe you've had kids of your own, or picture yourself as a small child standing with their legs apart, arms crossed, and shaking their head. Not going to happen. You are not going to tell me what to do. That's what our brains do. And if you're a parent, you won't have a problem envisioning that, guaranteed. Immediate resistance, right?
Yeah.
However, if you can come at it in an invitingly curious way, the brain suddenly wakes up and wants to help you. It jumps in, and all of a sudden it's in solutions mode. And if asked repeatedly, it won't stop until it comes up with answers for you. It's just like it really likes to be helpful. It really does, if asked the right way. Not only that, but your brain loves a challenge and it won't reject a curious question unless the question is so big that it triggers fear. Okay, so how we frame the question determines the type of response we get. Does that make sense?
I call this constantly curious.
Constantly curious. That's a
And
really good way to put it.
that's the key to getting lots of ideas is being constantly curious, questioning everything. Like, how can I do this better? Uh, what could I add? What could I take away?
Yeah.
Who could help me uh, get that flow of ideas from the questions, the little questions that you're talking about, and you start getting all kinds of ideas.
Yeah, you unlock your brain is what you do. So
Now,
instead of,
my
sorry?
my main idea that I want to share today is that people they expect professionalism, but what they crave is novelty and personalization. And we try to be too serious too much of the time when what we need to do is be more lighthearted, have more fun with it, and come up with novelty. Novelty is one of the biggest keys you can ever do to keeping your clients. Like you talked about those bottles I gave away. Well, we should be always asking ourselves, what can I do differently than everybody else? What little novelty can we add? And it can be anything as simple as how you greet people. I've taught people in retail uh, when people come in their stores to say, "How can I make you happy today?" Well,
Mhm,
what do
mhm.
99% of the people in retail do? They say, "How can I help you?"
Right. Oh,
So,
I like that.
so instead of saying, well, "Yeah," once you say to them, "How can I make you happy today?" and you can do it on the phone when somebody phones you, they immediately start joking around. They'll make goofy remarks. They'll say, "Well, you can get me a date for Saturday night, or
Right.
you can give me the product for free." you know,
Drop off a
but,
cappuccino for me. Yeah.
yeah. But once you get laughter with a client, it's like crazy glue. It just sticks you together.
Oh,
So
I love
novelty is so crucial to business today because people crave novelty. They love it.
that.
If you
Hmm.
can make a pleasant surprise, like you did with your free chocolate bar in the mail,
Yeah.
anything that's a pleasant surprise. They're going to remember you. They're going to want to come back and do business with you, and they're going to tell their friends about you.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
those little constant questions you keep asking yourself. That's how you come up with these ideas.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the point I think to make is to try and zone in a little bit more focused on your question. If you keep your questions too broad, that amygdala wakes up and it sets off our alarm, an alarm for our brain to disengage because it tries to protect ourselves from comfort and fear, and overwhelm's all part of that. So, instead of asking, how can I reduce expenses this year, which is a pretty large question that could have an overwhelming and paralyzing effect, how about you ask questions like, what is one small way that I could reduce expenses? Or how could I reduce expenses this week, even by 5%? Or when could I start making changes, small changes to reduce my expenses, even a little bit? Or who could I talk to that could help me reduce my expenses? And the last one is if I could reduce expenses by 5%, what would I need to do? Right? Curious questions unlock your brain. Do you see how that works? Use what, how, when, who, and if questions. There's a reason why we stay away from the why questions. Ed, why don't we ask the why questions?
Because it usually gets us thinking negatively. Like you start coming up with questions like, why did this happen to me? Why did I lose a sale? And
Right.
then you get into negative mode and you're not going to solve anything. So if you turn it around and you say, how can I give a better service? How can I connect with my client more? Then you're in positive mode. You don't want to get in that negative mode because there's nothing good can come out of it. You're just going
Yeah,
to feel bad. So yeah, you want to keep it positive and keep it flowing.
absolutely. So here's the key. if you repeat these kind of questions over the course of the day, the hippocampus will have no choice but to address it. And you'll get that aha moment when you least expect it. When you are in alpha mode. Do you remember alpha mode? We talked about that on the previous days. So go back, and if you haven't listened to videos 1, 2, or 3, go back and have a listen, because we do talk about alpha mode. Now, you don't need to force anything to come to you. Just let yourself sit with the questions. Ask them out loud, write them down. You're going to get a worksheet that you can write all your questions down, and let them percolate in your brain, your heart, your spirit, just to see what comes. This technique is a practice in patience, okay? Repeat your questions and the brain will deliver in due time. Have your booklet or your worksheet with you so that you don't miss out and forget any aha moments when they come. For me, they come in the shower. I'm not kidding you. I get my best, brightest ideas in the shower. And I didn't have anything to write them on until a client ordered me a waterproof pen and pad from Amazon. So guess what? Whenever I have great ideas, even in the shower, I can write them down before they're gone, because they do leave quickly, especially the older you get. Somebody said, Facebook user, I can't see your name because you haven't granted StreamYard permission, but that is okay. You love alpha mode. You do the theta healing. So I think I know who you are. I think you're Carrie. So you understand that. So let's remember, avoid commands, avoid large and overwhelming questions that set off alarms and keep you in resistance, and write down any and all ideas. Ed, do you have anything else to share with us today?
I just want to go back to the one point that I was making about novelty and how important that is if you want to build your business. And novelty can be something as simple as a personalized gift. Like I've used that many times when I have a big client and I'm going to give a presentation and I don't know the person. I get these gold pens and get their name engraved on it. And before I start my presentation, I give them the gift before, not after, before. And that novelty before, they almost always end up buying from me or listing their business with me or whatever. Novelty, catching them with a pleasant surprise, that opens more doors than anything I know of. It's one of the most important things that I can teach anybody is, find ways to be novel and quit trying to be so damn serious.
Right.
People do business with people they like. That's so you've got to make a connection with them, and novelty is a good way to open some doors.
Absolutely. Great advice and good tips there, Ed. So your sheet will be on the way within a half an hour, I promise today. Yesterday, I went off the rails with other things and I just forgot. So it's a human thing. Watch for it in your email, and then once you start getting those ideas rolling, post them in the group. Okay. I want to see those ideas. Or if you're on YouTube, post them in the comments. Let's learn from one another and start, creating better and better and better ideas. Tomorrow, our last day, we will be unveiling Ed's favorite technique that he teaches corporate leaders. And it's a great one to take your time with. So stay tuned. We will be back for day 5, same time tomorrow. Set your alarm, join us, and let's have a party about it. Let's enjoy it and have fun, right? Yeah. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy brainstorming. Bye.